I am here with Logan Storley facing Brennan Ward at Bellator 298, the main event in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, August 11th. First of all, Logan, I mean, another main event, another fight in your backyard. Do you like fighting at home for these? Do you enjoy the opportunity there, or are there too many distractions sometimes?
No, I think it's one of those things where not many fighters get to go home and compete in their home state. If you look across the board, how many guys, especially Sioux Falls being 2 hours from my hometown, not many get the opportunity to fight so close from home. So I've learned to really enjoy it. It's fun to have the crowd and my friends and family compared to some of these fights where you're going across the country, going across the world, or you're a long ways away. So I really do enjoy fighting at home, and I'm excited to get back in there.
You had gone and won the interim title and then went for the undisputed title against Amosov, the unification bout. Didn't go your way, but what were you able to take away from that experience?
I think what you take away from it is um, just small situations, small details. Put them in your back in your own game plan, where we needed to improve, and that's about all you can do is you got to learn from it. There's nothing else really to do from it. You want to get back in that situation to get your belt back, and so that's really where I'm at. And obviously it's disappointing, but you gotta take it as it is, and I learned from it, and I'm excited to showcase what I've learned and how this training camp went.
When you talk about getting your belt back, you faced Amosov twice now, 0 and 2, and that's not a situation you necessarily want to be in. Do you see a path back to the title at this point while he remains champion, or is this a case where you kind of hope that somebody comes along, dethrones him, and then you can get your name back in the mix?
I'm ranked number one. Beat all the guys in the top. Pretty much all the top guys, fought them all. And so I think for me, it's you got to have dominant performances. You got to go in there and showcase that you're different. And obviously, really for me, it's I've got two losses to the same guy. And one was a split decision. Last one was 5-round title fight. So for me, that's really the goal is to go get that back and get that belt and get rid of those losses. So I just have to be dominant. I have to, show my skills and show where I've improved.
You haven't had many losses in MMA, of course, like you mentioned the two to Amosov, but even back to your wrestling days, are losses something that kind of eat at you? Is it something where it kind of gets under your skin and you got to go and get these back, or if it didn't work out that way and you never got to fight him again, would it matter?
I think it just depends on um, how the cards fall. If you continue to win and when he takes a loss and you get the belt back, well then it doesn't really it does matter. That's one I really do want back. Like I said, but um, it's just to prove it really for myself is the main reason. And if he wasn't at Bellator anymore, or vice versa, different organizations, things like that. The main goal for almost every fighter is to become world champ. That's why you do it. And then for a lot of guys is to get that loss back or beat that guy back that that's the only losses on my record is the same guy. So it is important to me. But right now I'm focused on other things.
Absolutely. And of course, focused on Brennan Ward. First of all, what was your reaction to the matchup? Obviously, an exciting fighter, ranked a little further down. Like you said, you're number one. I believe he's number 8. But what was your reaction to this pairing overall?
I mean, it made sense. He was coming off 3 good wins. Um, Everybody else was kind of tied up, and or I fought him before. So it's like the top guys have all fought, and that's kind of where we were left at. And so I wanted to get back in there. instead of sitting on the sidelines, you know, if you don't take this fight, then you're going to sit and wait, you know. And so I didn't want to sit and wait for 8 months or, you know, almost a year to fight again. So I wanted to be active, wanted to get back in that cage, um, kind of get this run going again. So for me, it made sense. And that's kind of, that's what, that's what Bellator had. And I was excited to take it and, go get a dominant win.
And we kind of know what Brennan brings to the table in terms of, you know, the explosive power, the excitement, maybe a little reckless sometimes. He's also, I believe, a Division III All-American wrestler, if I'm not mistaken. But is, you know, what you're going to bring to him in terms of wrestling something you believe he's at all prepared for?
Um, I think you know, what I've seen from him is he's very explosive. He's an athletic kid. He's explosive, but can he chain it together, you know, over and over and over again? You know, for me, I don't think he can do that. You know, definitely has the ability to stuff a shot here, you know, do things like that. But it's going to be over the course of this fight, you know, where I start to take advantage.
Absolutely. And, you know, what do you think of his story? Because I think with Brennan, you know, this comeback is not just about what he's done in the cage, but the obstacles he's overcome outside of it. I don't know if you've seen too much of that or not, but, you know, he kicked addiction, came back from a very dark place. Just, you know, from what you've seen, what's your take on, you know, what he's done?
Yeah, you know, I don't hate the guy. I got nothing, you know, obviously, you root for him to have a happy and healthy life, you know, compared to where he was at. And so seems like he's doing much better. And, you know, that, he's a human being at the end of the day. So, you know, you're happy to see that. But besides that, it's, you know, obviously we're going to fight each other, go in there, duke it out. And then, you know, we both go on with our own lives.
Obviously want the best for him, just not necessarily in this fight. You want the outcome that he wants, right? Um,
Yeah.
you know,
You
we
know, it's just this is a sport and we're going to go in there and we're going to, you know, I want to win. You know, it doesn't matter the storyline. But I'm glad that he's doing well in his in life, you know, outside of fighting.
definitely. There's a lot of stuff like that in fighting. We hear, you know, fighting people or fighting has saved people's lives before. I think Brendan's a case there. In your case, it seems more like an athletic journey, obviously with the wrestling background. But, you know, is there any of that that applies to you as well? Like if you weren't fighting, what would you be doing with your life?
Yeah, you know, I was lucky enough to go to the University of Minnesota, got a business marketing degree. So and that's I guess kind of where I do this because I want to be the best in the world. I could go do other things. Um, you know, and so for me it's really to be the best in the world and be a competitor. You know, it's not like I don't have other options. Being lucky enough what my position was. So you know, that's why, you know, everyone has different stories. But mine's solely for the fact that, you know, I love the competition. I'm a competitor. I've been one my whole life. And, you know, with the sport of MMA, the changes it's made, now it's, you know, provides a great living as well. And so that for me, that was all I needed to, you know, jump all into the sport. And, you know, I've been 8 years pro now and really have loved every minute of it.
You know, I love that you mentioned jumping into the sport, 8 years as a pro now. There's another fighter on this card from Killcliff who is jumping in for his debut, another wrestler, and that's Jordan Oliver. I'm just wondering if you've talked to him, if you've had any advice for him, because you kind of blazed this path well before he did.
Yeah, you know, I think for him, you know, with that the high level wrestling he has, he's a competitor. He's gonna go out there and, you know, he had a great training camp. You know, him and Michael Blockus are both making their debut, both wrestlers, and so at the end of the day, it's just competition. You know, it's a little different, the rule set obviously than wrestling, but if you can get in there, get to your dominant positions, you know, good things will happen.
When you made the transition, what was the biggest learning curve for you coming over from wrestling?
Uh, in wrestling, you can learn where to rest on the on your feet. It's just something you've done. You've wrestled so many matches, so you get comfortable, and you find out positions where to rest, where to explode. And with fighting, it takes a little bit of you're standing on your feet, you're getting hit in the face. You're not always tied up in close. There's space, and so for me, that was something that took it takes everybody a little bit of where to find what your distance is, the setup for your shots, where you can rest, where you can explode. And it is different than wrestling in those positions. But once you kind of get comfortable getting seeing leather flying across your face, hitting you in the nose, you can stay calm in there in the pocket. It makes fighting much more fun, not just kind of a fight for your life.
Wow, it's been impressive to watch your journey. When you talk about becoming the best in the world and the best in the promotion, obviously right now is kind of a strange time in Bellator because we don't know what necessarily the future of the promotion is. There's talks about a sale. Scott Coker has confirmed that. Does any of that at all give you any distraction or anything that you have to dwell on, or have you just kind of been trying to ignore all that and let the chips fall where they may, so to speak?
Yeah, obviously, fighters talk about it, and with your agent and things like that. We've all heard about it, but for me, there's really nothing. There's nothing we can do at this point. You know, um, my biggest thing is to go out there, put a put on a great show, get a dominant win, and see where we're sitting come December, the end of the year, I guess. But there's nothing more we can do, I guess. Really, is we're not going to come in there and sit down and really have much say. And so if you keep winning, you keep having exciting fights, exciting shows. No matter what happens, you'll be in a good place anyway.
Definitely. Well, hoping for the best for all involved. It's always a scary time. You never know, like people's jobs are on the line, both fighters and employees of the promotion. But hoping for the best. I'm going to ask you one more, Logan, before I let you go. Just give us a prediction for this fight, August 11th. Brennan Ward, how does this play out?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting. I think it's going to be a sprint, really. He's going to come out hard, and so for me, it's picking my shots. This is a fight that I want to get back to my finishing way. So I'd really see myself finishing this fight and getting the W and putting myself right back in there for title contention.
A sprint to the finish, let's say. Logan, thanks very much for the time again. Looking forward to the fight. Best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.